All right, you guys. Oh my God, you know who's back? Me. Only for a little bit though. Only for a little bit. I want to give you guys just a quick little update, my mom's health and everything like that. She obviously she's on hospice. I want to make that very clear. Um but I just want to give you guys a quick little update before I start the stream. She it's been tough. It's been a very tough month. I mean, fuck, it's been hell. I'm not gonna lie. It's been in some way, shape, or form it's just terrible. And you guys know that I love my mom a lot. That's why it's tough to see her go through all this. Like it really is. Like it's just like it's a certain. I don't even know how to describe it at this point, but it just. Surprisingly, every day's getting, you know, there are days where she's having trouble breathing and it's very labored. And then today she was actually somewhat talkative. It's just all up in the air. Any day could be her last day. So I decided, I'm just going to do the best I can. Obviously when I let her and Byron go to bed and everything around 8 o'clock, but I try to be there as much as I can throughout the day. It's just so rough, man. Um, but she's really done the best she can under the circumstances. I mean, her battle with cancer it's been wild, man. It's been awful, to be honest. And she's done an excellent job. I mean, she's done so well. I mean, watching her struggle over the last few years has been difficult. I've tried my best to help, but at the end of the day, sometimes the only thing you could be is just an emotional support, a form of emotional support. And these last few years that I've had with my mother, honestly, have been surprisingly the best. It's still very tough to talk about. This whole month has been me knowing that my mom's final days, or we don't know. I thought today was going to be her last day, and I'm glad it isn't, but at the same time I don't want her to be in pain anymore. It's a dilemma. It's a very tough dilemma. Obviously, we're still doing what we can to make her time here as peaceful as possible, and that's the goal. While she's on hospice, to make her life as peaceful as possible. So I figure I might as well just do, I can't be there at the moment just because, they're going to bed, and, Byron's looking after her, of course, which is good. He's been very tough to deal with throughout all this, though. He's been, quite honestly, a bit of a monster. And, I don't plan on talking to him ever again. But, it's just. But. Oh, we got random player saying, oh, hi, Annie. Oh, Jesus. Annie says, oh, random player. Hey, Garza. What's up, Annie? It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Miss Annie. But yeah, this has been one of the toughest weeks toughest months of my mom's life, mainly. But also, not gonna lie, it's tough for all of us. My brother, me, my dad's torn up about it. Everybody, her closest friends, it's a nightmare, man. It's a nightmare. But I just wanted to give you guys kind of an update as to what was happening before I started the live stream. I'm not going to be live streaming a lot tonight. To be honest, this is kind of the first time in a little bit that I felt like I'm able to to do a live stream, which is a little bit surprising. I was like, you know what? I think I could do it tonight. I think I can. I might break down into tears a little bit, but I never really cared what people perceived me as. People want to perceive me as a pussy. I don't really give a shit because I don't really care about my image that much, to be quite frank. I just enjoy entertaining people, and that's really about it, dude. I love entertaining people. I can't help myself. So, but I do hope you guys can just say a little prayer for my mom. Some kind of prayer that's just like, hey, just let my mom's final days be the most peaceful and pain-free that they could be. She's not in any agonizing pain thanks to the morphine. Tony, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate the prayers, man. It's good to see you, Mr. E.T. We got a lot of people coming into the stream. So this stream is mainly going to be about Kamala Harris versus J.D. Vance, 2028. But thank you for your prayers, Annie. I really appreciate it big time. To all you guys praying for my mama, I mean, really means a lot, man. I really mean it, man. It just sucks, man. Any day could be her final day, which is the worst part about this, But yeah, that's just pretty much it, man. So I'm just gonna do a live stream tonight, see what we could do, and see if I can entertain you guys a little bit. Try not to be, as I still want to do this show. I do have the freedom to be able to do this show at night. But yeah, I've been struggling mentally quite a bit. I when I get home, I need time to definitely process everything. And, you could be prepared for something. And I've been very prepared this whole month to let my mom go, to let my mom pass away. I knew that I would eventually have to do this as an adult, but I didn't think it would be this soon. I really didn't think it would be this soon. That's why it's difficult. I really didn't think it would be this so soon. Admittedly, it's been extremely difficult to deal with. Obviously, I mean, my mom's passing away. It sucks. And so I just appreciate you guys. You guys do make this show fun, at least. This show is mainly a distraction for me right now. I'm going to be selfish with you guys. I'm going to be honest about how selfish I'm being right now, because this show is mainly a distraction for me right now. Because it's been difficult. It's been beyond difficult. So we're going to do the show. We're going to start the show. But Annie, thank you for your prayers. I really appreciate it big time. And hey, boy, oh boy, thank you. Thank you for the message. I appreciate it big time, man. All right, let's keep rolling, man. All right, so we're going to watch a little Kamala Harris. So do you guys think that Kamala Harris and J.D. Vance are the right people? I agree. Censored, I agree. It's really sad that democratic socialism, basically communism, is taken over the Democratic Party. And it goes Go figure, you know. This was expected to happen because the Democratic Party is too accepting of shitty ideas. You know, if there's one thing about the Democratic Party I've noticed, they're like, hey, if you have a bad idea, don't worry, we're going to support it because we believe in inclusion. And that means inclusion of the shittiest ideas that have ever been tried by mankind, especially communism. So, granted. Yeah, I've got no love, zero love for communism, straight up. Checking something real quick. Oh, my dad wants to talk about futa. He's into the futas. Oh, jeez. But yeah, it's like I said, it's all been pretty difficult to deal with. It's been tough, you know. But you know, basically this whole month, I knew that my mom was going to pass away. It's taken its time, but obviously I love having more time with her. I really do. Even to be able to just tell her how great she is and how much I love her. And, you know, Yager's Farm, what up, bro? But it is great to be able to give her a kiss on the forehead. It's great to tell her how great she is. Like, it just matters to me to be able to do those things. So it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But all right, let's keep going, man. Let's react to a little bit of Kamala. Kamala, make you holla. Oh. Let's take a listen here. Numa guy. Hell yeah, dude. Sexy. Oh, thank you, Magic Man. Mucho apreciado. Thank you for the gift. Mucho apreciado. Okay. Whoa, they hacked WordPress? Are you saying that WordPress is vulnerable? Oh, shit. All right. So, whoa, deadly 7.1 magnitude earthquake hits Japan. Holy smokes, man. Whoa. Whoa. Jesse Waters makes me wet, dude.
Fox News alert, we just got our hands on the Biden tapes, and now we know the truth. Over 70 hours.
I'm always riding with Biden. Even though I don't support Joe Biden, deep down, I'm riding with Biden. Let's go.
Of unfiltered raw recordings between...
He said raw. Hey, Jesse Waters. The reason your last name is Waters is because you make me... What?
Joe and his ghostwriter were just made public by the DOJ.
Okay.
For years, the Bidens have been trying to keep you from listening to these tapes. The Bidens and the Democrats paid lawyers a small fortune to bury them. Why?
Was I that lawyer who buried them? Was I? Dude, like I said, man, I'm anybody's dog for a bone. If you pay me the right amount of money, I'll say I'm riding with Biden. And then once that money runs dry, I'll be like, I was paid to be riding with Biden.
Why? They're pretty bad.
I'm in Munich, but after Angela Merkel, president's working lunch with, hang on a second.
The fuck? What the fuck? Dude, I don't even know what Joe Biden's saying. Nobody knows what Joe Biden's saying half the time. Joe Biden has... So here's the problem with people like Biden is when you're in politics for too long and you're so good at saying nothing for so long, what happens is your brain turns to crap. Okay? Granted. Love you, Joe. But when you say nothing for a living, your mind, you're basically so used to trying to say nothing that your mind, I just don't think ends up working. I don't know. That's my opinion, though. That's my opinion. Okay?
Confusing me. I was going to ask you something else. Oh, gosh.
I mean, this shit was, it's so funny. Biden has been like this for so fucking long. By the way, the timestamp here says April 24th, 2017. We've known that Joe Biden doesn't have the mental... We've known for a long time that he didn't have the mental capacity to be president. Yet the DNC forced this guy down our throats saying it'll be so much better under Biden. It'll be so much better. Don't worry, you guys. Everything will be A-okay. Joe Biden, he's here to help you. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that Trump is here to help us either. I'm saying that Trump is just a better option for America than Joe Biden. Because Trump gets shit done. That's why I like Trump. Okay.
I can't think what it is.
This wasn't when Biden was president. These tapes are...
Oh, you guys, don't forget to double tap yo screen to like the stream. One more time, double tap yo screen to like the stream.
10 years old. Right after Biden was Barack's VP, he tried to write a book, but couldn't remember a thing. Not even the names of his own staff.
I had the team that said, including the two guys who I think were with me, were, oh God, the guy at Princeton now, the economist, good guy, was our chief economic advisor, not Kaufman, think of his name, and the guy back out at the University of Chicago with a funny name, I'll think of it.
Goolsby is one.
What the fuck?
Yeah, Goolsby is in Chicago.
And the other guys at Princeton.
Yeah.
I should write the name down so I don't keep forgetting.
Oh, Jesus, dude. Here's the thing. The Democratic Party has, I'm serious when I say this, the Democratic Party elects incompetent people. And the reason this continues to happen is because the Democratic Party is a lot like a pirate ship. Everybody's afraid that the more competent person's going to take their job. For example, Trump knew when he made J.D. Vance his president, he knew that J.D. Vance was actually a superior candidate to him. But he wants J.D. Vance to take the office in 2028. That makes perfect sense to me. It makes perfect sense to me. And I think J.D. Vance is the best candidate the Republican Party has, alongside with Marco Rubio. If J.D. Vance decides he doesn't want to run, I'm voting for Rubio. Rubio's got my vote, dude. If Marco freaking Rubio runs for office, he's got my vote, dude. Rubio, you got my vote. But if JD Vance is running, JD Vance has my vote first. If JD Vance decides, nah, I'm not running in 2028, guess who I got? I got Marco Mother effing Rubio, bro.
This proves Biden's brain was fried in 2017. But 10 years later, when he was even more deteriorated and falling asleep during debate prep, this is what the media told you.
Start your tape right now, because I'm about to tell you the truth. And F you if you can't handle the truth.
And F you if you can't handle the truth. Oh, Joe Scarborough. Dude, this is the video where Joe Scarborough was like, guess what? Biden's the sharpest we've ever seen him. And all of a sudden, then the debate happens, and it's like, oh, no, he's not, because he never was. He's never been sharp. Biden has been one of the worst. Oh, jeez, Joe. Sleepy Joe Biden. Always asleep at the wheel. No, dude, seriously, legitimately, Joe Biden is the worst candidate. Dude, he is. Joe Biden. If I were to come up with a list of the worst presidents of all time, Joe Biden, number 1, Jimmy Carter, number 2, Richard Nixon, number 3. There's probably some other shitty presidents that I'm not thinking of, but I'm going with the ones off the top of my head. George W. Bush, number 4. I'd probably say number 5 would be Bill Clinton, because you know why Bill Clinton. I will say that Bill Clinton was definitely charismatic. Bill Clinton was definitely charismatic for sure.
This version of Biden, intellectually, analytically, is the best Biden ever.
It's like one of Joe Scarborough's. You know, a lot of people have bad takes. Don't get me wrong, I've got plenty of them. But I don't think there's ever been a take as bad as Joe Scarborough saying that this is the sharpest Biden we've ever. Biden has never been sharp. Maybe back in the day he might have had. Everybody's had their peak, right? Truth be told, for Biden, it's been decline after decline after decline. Come on, man. Joe Mother effing Biden, bro. Joe Biden.
Tapper wrote a book about how everybody knew Joe was cooked, but they had to stop Trump, so they lied to you. They even raided Trump's house for classified.
And notice, after that speech that Biden gave, after that debate, after the debate that Biden had with Trump, do you know what happened? They immediately, Democrats went into fucking full out panic mode. And you know what they did? They decided to inject one of the worst candidates we've ever seen in our lifetime. Besides Joe, Kamala Harris. And you know what? I honestly believe if Kamala Harris would have won the presidency, I think that she would have potentially been probably worse than, no, Joe Biden was pretty bad. I mean, you have to do a lot to get to Biden levels of fuck up. I really do believe that Kamala Harris, though, if she would have become president somehow, some way, would have been the second worst president of all time. That's my opinion. It's my opinion. It's just an opinion, okay? And that's the way I see it. Did I enjoy Trump's award show? Ooh. I didn't. I haven't watched any of that, no. No, I heard he was doing the White House Correspondents' Dinner and stuff. But yeah, no, I love Donald Trump, bro. I love Donald Trump. I think he's the man. Honestly, I think Trump's in the top 5. If we're going to say top, if you want to be unfair, you could say that Trump's in the top 10, but I do firmly believe that Trump is in the top 5 presidents of all time. He's got to be in the top 5 list at some point as one of the top 5 greatest presidents of all time. I'm serious, dude. You guys can call me crazy. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a. No, seriously though, Trump's the GOAT. Like, I know there's a lot of people who are gonna hate me for saying that, and I want you to hate me, bro. I want you, bro. I want you to hate me. All you guys, all you Biden lovers out there. I'm sure there's a lot of I'm sure there are people on my show who tune in saying that they love Joe Biden. I'm sure of it. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And also tell me if you think that Jesse Waters is fucking hot, dude. Look, this man's sexy. All right? That's a good looking man. And if you don't think Jesse Waters is a hot, sexy man, I may have to question your sexuality.
Documents after Biden bragged about having an illegal skiff in his garage.
So this was early on in '09. I just found all the classified stuff downstairs. Some of this may be classified, so be careful with it. I'm not sure. It's not more classified, but the next thing I have.
Oh my God, Biden's so incompetent, dude. It's so funny. Like, people who vote Democrat, I swear to crap, they love incompetent people. And I love how all these incompetent people say that Trump is incompetent. Not really. Trump's a little bit crazy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to argue that. Trump's crazy as fuck. But he is one of the most competent men I've ever seen. He's crazy, but he's extremely competent. So I'll give him props on that. But Joe Biden, man, he's just incompetent. And that's the thing that sucks, dude. Incompetent people blow, dude. Incompetent people in the wrong positions. Like, look, you could still be a competent person in other areas of life. Just because you suck at one thing doesn't mean that you have to suck at other stuff. You're probably really good at something, right? And there's a lot of shit that I'm incompetent at. There's a lot of shit I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know what the fuck this is. So it just depends on the individual, right? So Anthony Edmonds is saying real men don't call other men good looking. Thanks for further proving. No. I love talking about men's bodies on this channel, okay? I love talking about men's bodies on this channel, okay? What is the harm in that? Let this man talk about men's bodies. Who here wants me to talk about men's bodies? Say I. I know you do. I know you want me to, bro. Everybody wants me to talk about men's bodies.
Here is, this is classified.
This is probably something that goes to the presidential papers.
I don't think so. It was in.
By the way, in my opinion, the Iran war is not really a new one. We've been fighting with Iran for a long time. So honestly, Trump was like, F it, let's just turn the volume down on Iran. And when I say turn the volume down, I mean turn their volume down by force, right? Because Iran's just constantly doing, sponsoring terrorism and doing shitty things. So Trump was like, you know what? Screw it. We don't want you guys to have any power anyway, because you guys clearly abuse power. So yeah, putting Iran down a peg was actually a good thing. So whatever. Whatevs, bro. You guys are just jealous because I love Joe Biden. That's it. You guys are jealous because I love Joe Biden. Is that it? Jealous.
I didn't want to turn them in.
Right.
They prosecuted Trump for the crimes Biden committed and admitted to. Then when Fauci shut down the country, they hid Biden in the basement, flooded the zone with ballots, pulled the big guy across the finish line, and then went on an auto pen bender with spending and DEI.
Yep. And it's so funny because I think auto pen should be illegal, and I'll tell you why. Because when you have a president in office who doesn't know what's happening, like Joe Biden, I firmly believe that it's not a good idea to just leave the auto pen unattended. Because what happens when corrupt individuals take advantage of a virtually unconscious president? I'm not saying anything did happen. Not alleging anything. But hypothetically speaking, I think auto pen in when it comes to signing important documents should be illegal. If the president can't pick up a pen with their hand to sign a document, or even if they have a little bit of trouble with their hand, if you need a little assistance, but it has to be signed by them. I think auto pen is actually extremely dangerous in the sense that, yeah, I think it's just dangerous. Because what if one of your interns is corrupt and decides to use that pen? Because it could do Biden's signature, can it? Like, I'm sorry. If you want to use auto pen on other things in life that are like, then go at it, have fun. But when it comes to the country itself and executive orders that are being signed, auto pen basically is like a bad idea. I don't even want Trump to use the auto pen, by the way. And if Trump has used the auto pen, that makes me sad, dude. But yeah, Trump is one of the best presidents we've ever had. Biden's one of the worst presidents we've ever had. It's just that simple. It's just that freaking simple, you guys. Come on, man. We know that Trump is the GOAT. Can we just admit that, please? Can we just admit... Hold on, I gotta go back. I fucked up. Oh, well. Okay, let's look up Kamala Harris, dude. Kamala Harris versus J.D. Vance. I want it, dude. Because Kamala Harris is one of the worst candidates you could ever have. Seriously. Kamala Harris is the worst candidate for the Democratic Party. This is why nobody takes the Democratic Party seriously, is because of disturbing... In AOC, dude... Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is total... She sucks. She's terrible. Kamala is terrible. All of them are terrible. The problem is, when you ride the wave of the Democratic Socialists, you're riding a very dangerous wave. Socialism and communism are not new ideas. And putting democratic next to socialism really just turns it into communism, in my opinion. Because you're basically forcing redistribution of wealth, and that's basically what communism is where the government controls like means of production and forces things to change, forcing prices to stay the same, stuff like that. It's ruling by force. I don't know. I think distribution of wealth is a toxic idea, and it's one of the stupidest ideas ever that's ever been created. Ever. Wait, this person's saying that Trump voters are now realizing Kamala Harris was the better choice? That's not true. That's not true. Kamala Harris in any universe is still a shitty choice. She's unlikable. She doesn't know how to command a room. And in my opinion, I think she would be a terrible leader. She's a terrible politician. Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe. Like, I think that these people who have these "Make America Great Again" hats, these people look like liberals. Like, liberals have a certain look to them, and I think that these are just people pretending to be MAGA and pretending to be outraged over Trump. I think that's what's really happening. I believe it's called paid you know what. So, let's keep going. But yeah, Kamala Harris is legitimately Kamala Harris is legitimately one of the worst candidates. Okay, death toll. Oh, this is crazy though. Death toll rises after major earthquake hits Japan.
Recovery efforts are underway in Japan following a major magnitude 7.1 earthquake shook that country as several people were trapped inside of a shopping mall that partially collapsed on the southern portion of the main island, the southern main island, a 7.1 magnitude earthquake. And you can see some of the damage
crazy,
now,
dude. Holy
currently
shit.
daytime on Wednesday in this location. But you can see some of the damages that happened, potentially a gas line ruptured, causing an explosion. We're also hearing from officials in Japan, the Japanese Prime Minister talking about urging residents to evacuate and stay vigilant after that major magnitude earthquake hits southern Japan as the death toll continues to rise. Let's bring into the conversation from Reuters in Tokyo, based in Tokyo, John Getty. John, thank you so much for joining us right now. What's the sense? What's the feeling? What's the latest you can tell us about this earthquake?
What's happening?
Well, the latest we just heard in the last hour from the Prime Minister, who has confirmed that 13 people have died, at least, in this earthquake that struck yesterday afternoon. There's a pretty frantic search still going on for survivors. You mentioned the collapsed shopping mall, which has been the most eye-catching moment, really, of the events of the last 12 hours or so. But there are other locations as well. There's a paper mill where the chimney partially collapsed, where 7 people are also missing. And the Prime Minister described it this morning as a race against time to find survivors. So, yes, for rescue workers on the ground, it really is, a desperate attempt to try to find people, especially in this mall where you...
That's so fucking scary, dude. That is so fucking scary. Hey, we got my boy Kemoy Chapman. What is up, Kemoy? My boy, Kemoy. What's up, dude? We miss you, Kemoy. We miss a lot of. Hey, and if I'm missing any chats, I want to apologize. I'm just kind of focusing on reacting to videos at this point, but I'll try my best to pay attention to the chat. But yeah, missing you, Kemoy, and I'm missing you. And nobody knows it but me. Nights are lonely, the days are so sad. Just keep thinking about the love that we had. And I'm dying inside. And nobody knows it but me. Hey, Kemoy Chapman, thank you for the eagle for 400 jewels. Mucho. Appreciado, man. Thank you, not Mr. Eagle, but Mr. Kemoy. Thank you for that eagle. Appreciate it, man. But yeah, I'm not going to lie, I've been super depressed and pretty much just having kind of a tough time with everything that's happening, with my mom close to passing away and stuff. So it's been tough, Mr. Kemoy. It's been extremely tough, but I do want to thank you for the gift. So the main thing is I'm glad that I got a few more, it's possible I still may have a few more days with my mom to be able to see her and really tell her I love her. But I'm also just want to let you guys know that it is going to be it's already been very tough because I already know my mom's going to die. I've cried a lot, man. I have I've had so much of a tough time with this. Everybody in my family's had a tough time with this. My mom has had a long, long battle with cancer, and she's just an amazing woman. She's just an amazing woman. And I'm a lucky guy. I'm very lucky. That's all I can say. Dean P says you look like me. Hell yeah, dude. We might be, dude. You know, maybe we're just doppelgangers, dude. Maybe we're related. That's a possibility, Dean.
You can see now the wreckage that was caused from that.
Yeah, and it's very difficult to watch, and they're racing against the minutes, the hours to get there. The Prime Minister also told people to stay vigilant. Are they concerned that there might be more quakes, aftershocks happening?
Yes, I mean that's pretty standard in Japan. Often with big quakes like this, to expect aftershocks. There've been over 100 small aftershocks in the area since that quake yesterday afternoon, and authorities have warned residents, especially in those areas that were very close to the epicenter, to beware of potentially other big jolts that could come for the next week. So absolutely, residents, are.
And this earthquake in Japan, though, dude, 7.1 magnitude is pretty heavy. So I am hoping and I'm praying that everybody's, as many people are able to make it out of there as possible. That's scary stuff, man. Kemoy Chapman says, I'd give you the biggest hug if I could. Hey, man, I would love a big hug. I'll give you a virtual hug, though, Mr. Kemoy. I'll give you a virtual hug. You see my hands going? Oh, shit. Give me a second. Sort of see my hands. I don't know. Give me a second. My webcam. Got to adjust my cam. Is it adjusted? I don't know. But I gave you a hug, man. Hey, thank you, Kemoy, brother. I appreciate you, man. Hey, thank you, ET, man. I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it big time, brother. No, seriously. To all you guys who have been extremely supportive during this time, I just much love to you guys for being awesome, man. Just for you guys being so kind during this time. Appreciate you, man. But anyway, let's keep reacting.
Many are under evacuation orders, so they are considering whether they need to go to evacuation centers. Another issue that authorities have warned about here is, many homes, thousands of homes are without power. And, we're in the middle of summer here in Japan. It's hot. It's going to get 34 degrees plus, down in Kumamoto today, and very humid. So people in houses without access to air conditioning, they're.
Dude, that's scary, man, because it's getting pretty hot summertime right now. So in Japan, man, it's going to be extremely, extremely hot, like blistering hot. So what's going to end up probably happening is there might even be more deaths because, like he said, the lack of electricity because of the earthquake. It knocked out probably a lot of infrastructure, man.
The authorities are warning for people to be very vigilant about potential, heat stroke and heat risks, as well, even if they have managed to get through this initial chaos of the post-earthquake.
Yeah, those recovery efforts, even for people that still have their homes standing, it is very real. How have people in Japan mobilized rescue efforts? What does that look like right now to try to get out? Because you mentioned the shopping mall, other areas. How have they mobilized crews?
Yeah, rescue efforts have been very extensive from those on the ground, and then the soldiers from the self-defense forces, the Japanese army, have also been deployed. 3,600 soldiers were sent in to try to help with rescue efforts, including in that collapsed mall that you mentioned earlier. So very extensive rescue efforts underway, and it's some of the hospitals that are really near the epicenter are without power. So at least one hospital said it was without power and effectively acting as a field hospital. Another said, they were basically at capacity and were having to turn people away. So, those additional aid workers and rescue workers will be very vital at this moment in time.
And can I ask you, because when we talk about earthquakes, especially on the coast, like there in southern Japan, you also talk about tsunamis, and there are other.
It seems like Japan gets a lot of earthquakes, though. I've noticed that. And it's like, and I'm sure a lot of their infrastructure is probably made to withstand heavy earthquakes, hopefully. But I mean, if it gets to a certain scale of an earthquake, man, it gets scary, dude. It gets real scary.
Warnings out there. Can you talk about that and how the warnings were in effect? What did people kind of see in that regard?
So the moment that the earthquake hit, so usually what happens in Japan is that you will get an alert often pushed to your phone or across TV stations that will, a siren will sound and say an earthquake is incoming, and that's what we had here. Then we got news of this big earthquake.
That is kind of cool that they have a system like that in place where it can kind of give you, I guess, like a heads up or something like that beforehand. That's not bad.
Initially, authorities said there's a risk of a 1 meter tsunami, so people were prepared for that, but they lifted that a few hours after. So no tsunami risk from this quake. But of course, Japan is the most seismically active country in the world. It's almost every year we have some, major earthquake that, send shockwaves across the population and has people on edge. But as a result of that, I think, whilst it is the most seismically prone country in the world, disaster preparedness is also, very, very good and very strong, especially since that massive earthquake in 2011 that we know of, that's been really stepped up. So, it's something that people in Japan just live with on a daily basis.
Yeah, right there on the fault line, the ring of fire so many people talk about. I want to ask you, just for our national, international audience here on Live Now from Fox, if they're unfamiliar with the geography of Japan, where exactly was the epicenter? And you mentioned Kumamoto. How culturally significant is that area, that region, to Japan?
So Kumamoto sits in a part of Japan called Kyushu, which is, I guess you have the main Honshu Islands where Tokyo sits. Then you have another island, a big island called Kyushu, and then you have the small chain of islands, the Okinawa Islands. So it's in this. It's about maybe a.
So it's actually interesting that he mentions some of these because the Coos Bay has a sister city in Japan. It's I think it's called Choshi or Choshi, I think is how you pronounce it. So Choshi, Japan is actually the sister city to Coos Bay. So I don't know. I don't know if Choshi's anywhere close. Choshi or however you say it. We shall see.
2-hour roughly flight from Tokyo to that region. It's a very well populated area. Kumamoto is the biggest city in that area, full of very historic sites and amazing, natural beauty. Kumamoto Castle, which is sort of the symbol of the town, was extremely badly damaged in an earthquake that also hit that region 10 years ago. And the reports came in last night that, they've been rebuilding walls there, and some of those walls at Kumamoto Castle had also come down in this latest quake. You're seeing images there of various shrines across the region as well that have been affected. So, sadly, yes, many cultural buildings as well will have been affected by this quake. Often those buildings like shrines, they're built with extremely heavy slate roofs, right? So in the event, that earthquakes hit, it's often older buildings like that with these very heavy roofs that tend to come down, whereas modern buildings that are built with, all the kind of earthquake prevention techniques, are able to withstand these sort of size of quakes.
All right, that is very good to know and a good understanding of what this area is. Are we missing anything here, John? Is there anything else you want to know? Because you obviously talked about it, so very familiar to what's going on there. Are we missing anything about?
All right.
Of this quake and how they're responding?
I don't think so. I mean, I think the center of the attention at the moment is, as you say, on this mall. It's a strange situation because there was a big explosion in this mall around an hour after the quake hit. So the mall operator said that they'd managed to get around 200 shoppers in the mall. They'd evacuated them immediately after, but there were still some people inside when this explosion of unknown origin occurred. And there's been some footage, before this from dash cam footage that has been, been shown on local television here, and I'm sure other stations around the world. There's this vast explosion from inside the building that sends all this debris out across the car park and leaves the whole front of the building in ruins, as you see. So authorities are investigating a potential gas, situation, according to local media reports.
Well, that's a little scary though, because especially if you don't want any igniting to happen. So it's like, oh boy, it's kind of freaky, man. It's freaky crap, bro. All right, let's take a look. I may have to use the bathroom here in a second, you guys. I'm not gonna have you join me or anything, but hold on. Nights are lonely, the days are so sad. Oh. All right, let's see. So let's watch the rest of this.
The more we find out about that, I think that will become the dominant story of this. How did this occur? What safeguards should be in place to prevent this kind of incident from occurring? I think that will be a big focus going forward. Our teams on the ground are trying to get to the various disaster sites, and they're saying, around Kumamoto City, the damage doesn't look too bad, but the area that's sort of the epicenter, which is nearer to where this mall is, nearer to where that paper mill I talked about earlier was, which that area is obviously going to be it's less populated, but it's going to be the one that we're going to see the real kind of damage and extent of what's happened.
That's crazy, dude. It's weird. It's going to be weird to see like what the aftermath is. Scary thing about these like 7+ magnitude earthquakes, dude, is they get death tolls happen in these situations, unfortunately. And that's scary, man. I hope everybody, I hope people end up okay. Those types of, I don't even like to think about that, man. I know it's a reality. So fucked. So screwed up. All right, let's see. All right, guys, BRB. LOL. Okay. I'm back. I did it. Okay. E.T. wants a bathroom camera. That's not happening. We got Frog Eat Frog in the house, though. Frog, it's good to see you, brother. It's good to see you, man. Got Kemoy. We got Frog Eat Frog. We got Annie. Got a lot of great people. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, I'm not going to be streaming for super long tonight. To be honest, I just want to just chill, react to a couple things on the internet, and then kind of slowly go to bed. That's pretty much it. I'll probably stream until about 11, close to 11. I may end the stream sooner. Yeah, let's keep rolling, man. Dr. fucking Fauci, dude. The five are talking about commie and camouflage. Are they talking about Kamala Harris? Hopefully they are.
Denny. Just kidding. Michigan Senate candidate Abdul El Sayed campaigning like a commie in camouflage, backing policies like Medicare for all and abolishing ICE, but denying that he's a socialist snake in the grass at the final Democratic debate.
When it comes to the question of socialism, I'm not a socialist.
I hate it when socialists say, oh, guess what? We want to give you everything for free. Well, nothing is truly free. Everything comes at a cost. And what happens is when they say that they're giving it to you for free, they're basically saying, oh, yeah, we're just going to basically charge you an exorbitant amount of taxes just to give you this shit. So it's not free. You have to pay it in taxes. So don't ever let them brainwash you into thinking it's free, because it's not. It doesn't work that way.
I'm just a capitalist who understands how capitalism works. The biggest threat to capitalism was never the idea of government regulation. It was always monopoly.
And there's a reason El Sayed's a socialist in practice, but not in public.
I'm actually not necessarily against monopolies from forming. If a company does really, really well, then it does really, really well.
Look, the DSA brand is becoming political poison for the party.
A clear majority of voters say that the Democratic Party is too liberal. And you know what is fueling that? You know what's only adding fuel to the fire? How about the Democratic Socialists of America? I would argue the biggest red flag that Democrats have, the biggest red flag, look at this. It's apathy, not believing that Democrats can change anything.
Oh my goodness. So impact of Democrat policies on your cost of living. It'll either hurt you worse or won't change. Dude, nobody believes. And here's the thing. The truth is, nobody really believes the Democrats will change anything. In fact, if anything, people believe that the Democratic Party is going to make things worse because the Democrat Party has been invaded by communists. And honestly, the Democrat Party was already incompetent before the communists, but the communists make it even worse.
And after the new DSA co-chair's insane platform went viral, some Democrats in the media are begging them to cut the commie nonsense.
This is not a big tent kind of like, well, abolish prisons, abolish the border, abolish the presidency, abolish the Pentagon. I mean, these are crazy people.
That's a huge problem. These are views that are, I think, represented by a very small amount of individuals.
Some of this DSA stuff, let's be very clear, Stephanie, is way out of touch.
If Democrats want to make America more affordable, more fair, and more free, and I think they do, they better speak truth to its most extreme base, or they're going to let a small faction of radicals drive more people toward Donald Trump.
So Finally, Greg, some Democrats are starting to stand up and say, whoa, slow down.
Yeah,
It's
we
not
got to
just
stop with the
that, though.
socialism
You have a
shit.
socialist denying that he's really a socialist, and it's a thing that is unique to the spectrum of the left.
I think it's because the left finally realizes, and I hope they do, that they shouldn't allow these stupid communists to invade their party. That's what they're basically realizing. It's, oh yeah, we shouldn't be a big tent party because not all ideas are good ideas. Communism is actually a shitty idea. Like, how tough is it for people to actually realize that? Like, it really is. It is shocking that people don't realize this, man. Give me 1 second here. So I want to show you guys a video real quick. We're going to react to a video. And it's a Republican HQ video. But what happened was some a-hole named Emily basically went and, I think, vandalized, allegedly. Let me see here. Republican HQ. Hold on. Let's see if Chris Castleman here. I think my boy Chris Castleman put it on there. Let me see. He's a good man. It's like, I think it's on the Republican HQ page. Let's just go newest posts. Yeah, well, fuck. Where'd it go? Republican HQ. Let's see if I can find it. Because, yeah, there was somebody vandalizing the local Republican HQ, basically. In Coos County. So it's crazy. And they have video footage of it, and it looks like this psycho named Emily, which doesn't surprise me because she has like psycho eyes. So, and she looks like a radical. So it's like one of those things. It's like, it doesn't surprise me that she would do it. Like, this is crazy. I found a great little meme. I don't like Trump. Welcome to the Democratic Party. He is too liberal. I do feel that sometimes Trump can be a little too on the left side of things from time to time. But for the most part, dude, I mean, I got to admit, my boy Trump kicks ass, dude. Where the hell? Is it on the Dirtbag Sal page? Let's look at the recent media. You'll see all of it. Huh. You know what? Maybe it's on something else. Is it? Nope. Hold on. Well, fuck. Hold on. Because there was a video that my boy Chris Castleman posted. Where'd it go? Where did it go? Let me just look up Coos County Republicans here. Coos County Republicans. I'm assuming this is the page. Because there was like legitimately a video. And let's see. So I think, if I remember right, I think Chris Castleman runs all these pages. I love Chris, dude. Chris is the man. This guy's so fucking cool. Coos County. See if this is the. Is this the one? Hold on. Well. Crap, man. It's a good video. I watched it earlier too. Was it Dirtbags? Sally Jason. All right, let's see here. Was it Sally Boo? I think was his. Let's see, Sally Boo. Oh yeah, here we go, my boy, dude. Sally Boo, my boy Sal. Sal's such a chud. God, Sal's terrible, dude. No, but like there's this guy who runs the Coos Bay Area page. He is just awful. Like, he's just not a good dude. Freaking awful, man. Well, I guess the video's not there. Where did the video go, dude? Where do you go, my lovely? I want to know. Would it be in the What's Really Happening Coos County? Okay. Either way, it sucks. I feel like that video might have gotten taken down. That really blows. Because this video, this is like a Republican HQ. I don't know why it would get taken down. Huh. Oh. Well. It's a little surprising. crazy. Well, I got nothing to say there.
From the centrist liberal to the ultimate socialist, they always walk back their beliefs at every chance. You rarely hear a right winger go, oh, I'm not that conservative. You never hear that. But how many times have you heard a liberal, Jessica,
say I'm not that liberal? Yeah, here the problem is most of these libs are out of their mind. I really believe that, man. A lot of these libs are just so far gone, dude. That's just how it is. Well, interesting. All right, give me another second then. All right, let's keep going.
say, I'm a liberal, but I'm not crazy like those nutbags.
I'm not.
But it's like, it's because you kind of innately know that leftism is loony and out of step with mainstream thinking that you have to go, yeah, I'm a little nutty, but I'm not that nutty. Meanwhile...
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that there's more... Here's the thing. People say that there's radicals on both sides, and which is true, by the way. But I do believe there are far more radicals on the left. That's one of the reasons I don't vote Democrat, is because there's too many crazy socialists and communists out there that I can't, in good conscience, vote for Democrats. Also, I don't believe in democracy anyway, so it goes against my fundamental belief right there. So, yeah, I believe we're a constitutional republic, which is true. And democracy overall is actually a bad idea. Elements of democracy are okay to implement in an overall system. But that's about where I draw the line.
We call, you guys call us Nazis, but we get rid of our Nazis. We don't push them into the Senate and hope they win. Right now, what I find is that the DSA is saying exactly what they are to everyone. And they may be the most honest leftists about what they want. They're saying what they want to take over. They're saying what they want to tax. They're saying what they want to ban. And it reveals an essential truth about socialism and, I would say, the slower socialism called Democrats, is that it's all top-down social engineering, and it cannot exist unless you enforce it aggressively, which means it is antithetical to human nature. If this stuff was so innate, why do you have to force it down our throats?
That is true. I think a lot of the things that pisses me off about the Democrats is they will try to force a lot of bullshit through. That's why if you give Democrats power, they will try to force things down your throat, basically. Now, granted, you don't want anybody to abuse power, but I do feel like most of the abuse of power comes from people who have socialist and communist beliefs. The moment you give a socialist and a communist any sort of power, they abuse it, because collectivists tend to be very incompetent. And because of their incompetency, they tend to take the power that they get and then abuse the hell out of it. History always proves me right on this one too. So, yeah, any socialist communist movement turns into an authoritative dictatorship in no time.
Capitalism doesn't need a movement. Do you know what I mean? There's no capital. There's no, Republican capitalist society. Socialism needs a movement because they need to force it. Capitalism, flaws and all, most resembles human behavior, which is where we are.
Exactly. And that's the thing. We are greedy. All right. Every human being needs incentive. It's the truth. We do. And the thing is, capitalism offers incentives. Socialism and communism offer none of those. In fact, that's why most countries, in fact, not most countries, all countries who implement communism and socialism at massive scales end up being the most depressed countries that you ever see because they're overtaxed. Usually, and there's no incentive to do better because you don't get a pay raise or anything like that. It's just terrible, dude. I think socialism is terrible. And yeah.
We live by incentives and disincentives. We like to trade, buy and sell goods. We need that. We'll give you this. That's how it works. Socialism has to aggressively tell you that this is superior because you won't buy it. I also think they're not just sick of socialism because we've heard enough about it now. There's still stuff lingering here that I think people have gotten tired of. It's the oppressions politics. I think a lot of people who bought into it are now thinking that, like, boy, when I say I'm oppressive, I sound if I say that I'm being oppressed, I sound like a real wimp. When you say I am oppressed, you realize that you're a loser because you're saying I'm not successful. And I don't know any men in my life that walk around going that I'm oppressed, maybe by their wives. But it's a confession. It's a confession.
That's a good one.
And I think what people are realizing, thankfully, is that oppression is self-oppression. You're oppressing yourself.
So you're kind of oppressing yourself at home then?
But I enjoy it. I have an oppressive outfit that I wear.
That's true. That's true.
It zips up in the front and I hang upside down.
Right.
Oh my God, my boy probably loves Greg Gutfeld. If you were into BDSM, man, it wouldn't shock me. I love you, brother. I love Greg Gutfeld, dude. He is one of the funniest dudes on political television. He really is. And Jesse Waters just makes me water. Love you, Jesse Waters.
Dana, there's like just now an outward fight breaking out between especially Fetterman, who's just taken the lead now, and he's gonna crush these guys if he can.
Fetterman had a great line today. He called El Sayed the Pontiac Platner, and
the Pontiac Platner. I like that.
As Donald Trump has proven, like a nickname can work because it's like, oh yeah, that's exactly what it is. For example, El Sayed has had pivots before. He was asked about lying about being a physician, and he said, it's not about whether I'm a doctor, it's about whether you can see a doctor. And even the interviewer was like, I don't think that's going to cut it. So one of two things is happening. Either he has seen polling that says he feels very good about his position in the primary, and he knows that it is a major loser in the general. Mike Rogers is the Republican. He only lost by, I think, 17,000 votes the last time he ran statewide. In a recent poll, it said like Syed would lose to him by about 10. Haley Stevens would make that race competitive, be about tied. Or he's realizing that he doesn't have enough votes in the white, what do we call them, the awfuls?
Yeah.
That there's not enough awfuls. I have a piece of hair on my nose. That there's not enough awfuls to get him across, and enough people in Dearborn.
Fluent white female lips.
Exactly. The other thing is, when you were talking, it reminded me of Joe Biden, right? He was supposed to be the guy's get back to normal, just total normal Democrat. And what happened when he got into office? He was like, let me just reveal my true colors. So I love that the DSA true believers will come on and tell you exactly what they think. This morning, Faz Shakir said, well, Dana, that's like not really what people think. I'm like,
well, what's crazy is the Democratic Socialists have so many stupid ideas. I think they should just keep going on TV. I want these idiots, I want these dumbass Democratic Socialists to go on TV, keep spouting their stupidity, because, dude, their policies are crazy. Basically, they're saying, oh, we should just abolish prisons. We should abolish police. No. We need more police. Maybe we don't need that many prisons. Maybe just enough prisons. We need more police. Period. End of story. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, I'm not necessarily opposed to universal health care if it's the only option at this point. Since healthcare is already unaffordable because of health insurance, I say just abolish health insurance. That's my solution. Abolish health insurance completely. I mean, when I say abolish, I mean make health insurance illegal and make it illegal to have a single payer option. And what this does is it forces the prices of healthcare to become affordable. Simple as that. Everybody wants something for nothing. They want healthcare for free. It's not ever free. You have to pay for it as a taxpayer. Economically speaking, I think universal healthcare might be kind of stupid. I think just get rid of the idea of universal healthcare. Make health insurance illegal, and then that forces hospitals to have hospitals to make things affordable, because guess what? You know what people are going to do? They're going to go into the ER, they're going to get the medical bill, and they're never going to pay it. That's basically the reality of the situation. Oh yeah, insurance is the problem. Just make insurance illegal. Like, seriously, make medical insurance illegal. ET says, Garza, have you been practicing your Asmund voice? Dude, Asmund, I will say this about Asmund. He actually, for me, has a pretty tough voice to emulate. Guys, it really is tough to do. Like, I could do a Robert Downey Jr. impression and feel like it's close, even though it's not a good one. Robert Downey Jr. here. I just want to let you know that Jarvis and I were thinking... we have a Hulk, and I could kind of do the Robert Downey Jr. voice, but what I can't do is I actually am not very good at the Asmongold voice. Like, I've kind of tried. Guys, I don't have, like, he and I just, it's very tough to match his timbre for some reason. Guys, we just, I don't know what it is, man. I just can't match that man's timbre. He's a brilliant man, though. I love Asmongold a lot. I think he's fantabulous, dude. He's great to listen to. I have a blast every time I listen to him.
I'm not making it up. She said it. So they're going to have to answer for it.
So answer to what Greg said, Jessica. It's really about degree. You guys say, you're not communists. They say they want to blow open the border, but Biden did it. You guys say, you don't want to abolish prisons, but you guys do cash bail. You commit a crime, you get right out. I mean, so it really is about how fast you go.
Yeah, well, that links to what Greg was saying, where he said, you don't hear conservatives saying, well, I'm not that conservative. And so I wrote down some policy positions that mainstream conservatives take in opposition to the most conservative position, like being for IVF. For instance, the most conservative position is shouldn't be allowed. Mike Pence is out there talking about how he got his family. That heartbeat bills shouldn't be implemented on a statewide level. You have that in 13 states, I think, at this point. But mainstream conservatives are like, 6 weeks seems early. You can't even get a scan. That immigrants who have been in this country and productively contributed and not broken our laws on our land should not be deported. And
honestly, Jessica Darlove, I gotta disagree with you on that one. I gotta disagree with you there. If somebody is here illegally, they've already broken the law. If you have overstayed your visa by like X amount of months or whatever, you're breaking the law, dude. If you're just visiting, you got a passport, you're only going to be there for 2 weeks, that's a different story. If your plan is to go back home to your country of origin.
and gay marriage in general. It's just
these are all granular elements of larger story.
Immigration?
Yes, we are
That's
all on the
when-
same page with
No, you're not.
immigration,
No.
and we're almost entirely on the same page with abortion.
Donald Trump isn't even on that page with immigration. He talks about how great the people who worked in his hotels are because he used to hire a lot of people who are undocumented, and that his friends call him up who work in hospitality, restaurants, the people who work on our farms, and that they're all good
What is the
people.
extreme position? The extreme position would be
is
we
Stephen
immediately
Miller.
like airlift people out of their homes.
I'm just saying that there are plenty of conservatives, whether they just want to win elections or not, who understand that the most conservative position is untenable. As far as this race goes, we'll see in Michigan if the primary electorate is only thinking of the primary or if they're thinking of the general. Because that poll that Dana cited, Al-Sayed losing by 10, and Haley Stevens had like a 0.8 percentage point lead over Mike Rogers. He was super close to Alyssa Slotkin the last time that he ran, and he could do it. This time around, if it is not as blue of an environment as I would like, or we expect, the financial disclosures issue for Al-Sayed, I think, is actually going to hurt him. So he had been fighting releasing this information, and it came out that he owns all of these properties abroad, and they were passed down to.
What the hell is that? What are we talking about here? Tarlov, I don't know. Either way, this guy's probably a socialist. He definitely has socialist vibes. There's just some people you can look at and you're just thinking, dude, they gotta believe in socialism. I feel like, I don't know if it's like a facial structure thing, but there are just some people you could take one good look at them and be like, you believe that socialism is a good idea, don't you? This guy clearly believes socialism is a good, fair idea, and it's not fair, by the way. Redistribution of wealth is actually the most unfair concept and one of the most unethical concepts in the world. Why should I have to fucking give my earned money to you? That's the question I'm asking. I don't think we should pay a lot in taxes. And I argue that maybe universal health care ain't all it's cracked up to be. It's not free. I say we just make health insurance go away. Healthcare then becomes super affordable. Also, Jessica Tarlov, I could tell you're a socialist a mile away.
To his wife, they're in Bangalore and in Dubai, and they're making a few $100,000 off of being a landlord. Those are the kinds of things that I think people do glom onto when you've been railing against the 1% and saying, this is about America first.
At the bare minimum, you can at least look at somebody and tell if they vote Democrat there's just a certain demeanor that they have. Maybe even facial structure. I don't know. But there's just a certain demeanor that they have. And it just seems like it's pretty obvious that they vote Democrat. Just saying.
First, everything's about Michigan, but you're a landlord abroad, or that his wife, who is a psychiatrist, doesn't accept Medicare, but you're for Medicare for all. So the Stevens camp is definitely trying to make something of that.
Paul, I think the issue here is a little bit larger. It feels to me like a couple things going on here. First of all, it's a little bit like the rest of the Democrats now have seen the DSA. It's like the third date and they've seen the girl without her makeup on. And all of a sudden, oh, I didn't realize I was getting into this, right? And now it's pulled them into some place that they don't want to go. And the thing is, I don't think there's that much of a difference. I really don't. I know that they're trying to triangulate against the DSA. But go back to even Obama. Let's go to Obamacare, which grabbed 1/6 of the American economy. By any metric, has not worked. One of the things you hear about the affordability issue is the cost of health care. We were promised everything under the sun, including keeping your doctor, quite famously. So I don't actually find them to be that radical, except when they say the real quiet part out loud. And that is, we want to abrogate the Constitution. We want to get rid of Article 1, the Senate. The president, that's Article 2, the Supreme Court, Article 3. You know what happens if you advocate to get rid of America's founding document and you marry it in any way, shape, or form to coercion? Sedition. That's what that is. And I think that some of the Democratic Party right now are getting a little afraid. They're thinking we got these feral children here who have come out of the woodwork who want to get rid of the entire thing.
Yeah.
And some of them are throwing bricks at
And these communists who want to get rid of the Constitution completely, these people are basically, the irony is they're anarchists and communists, which are basically a contradiction. They believe that they're both, which is so stupid. nobody should take the Democratic Socialists seriously. We should basically all give them the middle finger because they're idiots. They don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry. The Democratic Socialists believe in an idea so disturbing, in my opinion, because socialism is disturbing. It really, at a massive scale, socialism's a bad idea. It's evil. It's unethical. And the reason it's unethical is because redistribution of wealth is actually a very unethical concept. Straight up. Like, how is it fair that I have to give 70% of my earnings to the government, who's probably going to waste that money and not even give it to anybody else? You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Redistribution of wealth is probably one of the most unethical ideas ever created. Yeah. I'm serious, man. That's what I believe. Redistribution of wealth is extremely unethical. That's just what I believe, yo. Yo, yo, yo. Let's keep going.
Nice. And all you need right there, that's conspiracy to commit sedition. And if you say, well, where are you getting this? This is like some Civil War thing. No. You know when they charged seditious conspiracy? 6 January. That's what they charged the Proud Boys with and the Oath Keepers with. And let me just close with this. There's dots out there. You got to connect them, but they're there.
Yeah, the 6th of you-know-what was basically probably one of the most overrated, like, seriously. I think J6th is probably one of the most overreacted to events that I've ever seen in my life. That's my opinion. You guys can have your opinion on it. But I think people really overreacted to that event.
If you look at where these guys all go to get their marching orders, headquarters is about to be blown open. I'm talking about Cuba. Bill de Blasio honeymooned in Cuba. That's been going on forever. All of these characters you're hearing about at some point make the pilgrimage to Havana. They all go down there. Code Pink, Hassan Piker, all of these guys that are thought leaders of a lot of this stuff. And Cuba is about to flip. And when it does, you're going to get the archives and you're going to get a bunch of narco government guys who want to make a deal. And they're going to talk. And there's already an open investigation into those characters that I just named. And I think there are elements of the Democratic Party who are taking a look at this and saying, these guys are radioactive. We better not get caught up in this because I'm not sitting in a cell next to Hassan Piker.
I like that. We should arrest the communists. I'm totally on board with that.
They'll get there.
I'll
You
talk
watch.
to Blanche later.
Well, I don't know. Here's the thing. I don't think we should arrest communists. I just think that we should not vote in communists. Seriously. If you try to vote, if you vote in communists, that is such a bad idea, dude. You don't want communists to have power. Granted, should we arrest them? No. No. I do believe that you should have the freedom to be a socialist or a communist. You should have that freedom. And you should have the freedom to run for office if you really want to. But I suggest that we, the American people, do our due diligence and make sure that we're electing people who are not communists. That's the best thing we could do to protect our Constitution. Because these communists, they basically said the Constitution's irrelevant. They want to abolish the Senate? That's fucking crazy. That really blows my mind. It really does. Anyway. I don't know what else to say, you guys. I don't know. Yeah, that's the thing. Communism and socialism always start out sort of normal. Well, not really normal, but they start out seeming benevolent. And then all of a sudden, when everybody gets poor and miserable, that's when terrible people rise to power. And then that terrible person promises change, and then they just basically become an authoritative figure, and then they do eugenics and shit and start stupid wars. It happens. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is, yeah, I don't trust the communists at all. The communists are out of their fucking minds, dude. Communists are out of their fucking minds. I think that's all there is to it. Oh man. Okay. Well, well, well. Okay. What do we got? Well, I appreciate you guys just being so awesome. Oh, hold on. I gotta show you guys Rucka. Rucka Epstein Island. All right, we're gonna react to a little. Okay, let's keep going. Amazing, dude. Rucka might be one of the greatest artists on YouTube. He's one of the OGs, by the way. This is amazing.
Because life here is great.
Dude, he does the Scott Stapp voice in a way that's so overly exaggerated, but so fucking good. Like, I could listen to Rucka try to sound like Creed all night long, and I would be sitting there in a juicy man thong, of course. Like the fact that he's got like Mick Jagger, like little Mick Jagger gifs, like when they do the guitar solo. Those Mick Jagger gifs are amazing. Dude, we got Diddy right there. So I think we see Diddy, Jeffy. I think that's Leo right there. I don't know who these guys are. I don't watch a lot of movies. I don't even listen to that much music anymore. Dude, look how many. This is great. This is why AI is amazing. Look how many Epsteins were funneled into one single image. Dude, it's like, holy shit. Kind of looks like Abe Lincoln on that one. I don't know. Honestly, I'm just gonna say that right now, dude. Pure amazing. If you guys want to watch that, just look up Rucka Ali, Epstein Island. Once again, Rucka Ali, Epstein Island, dude. I love it, dude. Annie, what's up, dude? Honestly amazing, dude. Okay, you guys, I'm gonna go to bed. I am tired, but I do want to thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I really, I just want to kind of end on a final note here. Like I said, my mom could pass away at any day. That, laugh out loud, is the sad truth. So thank you, ET, for becoming a VIP. It looks like 4 months as a VIP member, man. I appreciate it, Mr. ET. But yeah, dude. So the thing is, I just want to say this. Thank you guys. Thank you to everybody for who. I want to say thanks to everybody who's just been so kind to me throughout all this. It's been a very difficult time for me, a very difficult period in my life. Doing stuff like this where I react to videos and I just kind of, shoot the shit with you guys. The timing wasn't the greatest, ET, but that's okay. That's okay. You can't control the timing on those things. It's not easy. But no, I will say this. I will say this though, seriously. Hey, Chad USA, man, thank you, brother. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh man. I'm sorry to hear that you lost your mother as well, man. My mom still may have a couple days left. Like I said, she's on hospice. This has been the one thing that just really, really sucks is knowing that, like, it's nice to still be able to talk to her in some capacity, in some capacity. And, yeah. I'm going to miss my mom, man. That's the one thing I'm going to say right now. I'm going to miss her quite a bit. And, you know, she didn't always understand the whole YouTube thing that I do. I would explain it to her a little bit. She's like, it sounds like you're just having fun, you know. Basically is what she said. I was like, basically, yeah, I'm having fun doing what I do. But she was very supportive. She didn't always understand what my show was about. She knew that I did crazy stuff on live stream. She knew that I like to educate people doing pre-recorded videos, because pre-recorded videos, I was never distracted by the chat, obviously. So when you're doing a pre-recorded video, you're just focused on getting the video recorded and the information out there. But yeah, my mom, I just want to say, man, my mom's amazing. It's tough, man. Losing her has been, you know, and the thing is, I know that every day could be her last day. That really is the part that hurts so much. And it's going to be very tough moving forward for a little bit. Because when she passes away, I'm already broken up because I already know that she's going to be passing away soon. Like, it has been very rough to admit that she's going to be passing away. It is extremely tough. So, to anybody out there who is, you know, losing a parent or has already lost a parent, I want to say sorry to you, man. It's not easy to go through. You know, I definitely thought my mom had more time than this. And when I say more time, I meant like, I just didn't think this would all happen so fast is the thing. And I really wanted them to be able to do more treatments for her. You know, more things for her. I really wanted that so much. I was like, oh man, I hope my mom keeps fighting. And I wasn't mad at her when she chose to throw in the towel. This has been so tough for her. The medications that she's been on, the chemo, has been, she said that there are some things that are worse than death. I completely understand what she's saying. Well, I should say I comprehend what she's saying. I comprehend. Because I can never truly understand what she's going through. Unless I went through it myself. But she's just amazing. She's just amazing. And hearing her say that she loves me, though, that was the best thing. God, that made my day. Made my day, man. I just want to say, just like I said to my mom earlier, Mom, I love you. I love you with all my heart. Thank you for everything that you've done for me. Thank you for encouraging me to be who I want to be. Thank you for being so kind to so many people. Thank you for being a loving mother. We haven't always seen eye to eye. We've had our fights, for sure. You know. We definitely had some rough patches in our, you know, in our relationship. And it was tough. Those times were tough. But, you know, I was able to get through a lot of that. And, but I will say these last 5 years have been the best years that I've had with my mom. They've been the best. Because I knew, unfortunately, that when she got cancer, that we were basically on borrowed time with her. Unfortunately. So I want to tell you guys, the reason I'm basically saying these things is because I want you to know how great she was. I want you to know how great she was. She really did her best. She had demons that she had to work through. She had things that she had to battle through. And it will be tough to not be able to see her, to not be able to talk to her. Admittedly, that's the worst part about this, is that I'm not going to be able to see her. So, thank you, Mom. I appreciate it big time. You've been amazing. So, I got a lot of good years with you, though. I had a lot of good years. So, thank you, Mom. I love you a lot. I'm going to miss you. And don't know when your last day is really going to be. I'm glad that I got another day with you, though. That's nice. As long as you're not in pain during these final days, that's really the most important thing. She's on morphine and things like that. Hyperbolic chamber, huh? Hyperbolic chamber, you're a crappy individual. You do realize, hyperbolic chamber, that you're talking to a minority, right? You do realize that I am 25% Mexican. My last name is Garza. So you're saying that I hate you say that, why would you, I am a minority. Hyperbolic chamber, by the way. I am a minority. You're probably some white asshole who doesn't know anything about reality, who is fucking eating chips off his chest, for God's sakes. And go straight to hell, dude. But I know you're already living there. Yeah. Either way, hyperbolic chamber. What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to say? What is your point? You assume that I hate all of these people, yet you... Yeah. Either way, go to hell, dude. Hyperbolic chamber, you can go straight to hell, bro. Doesn't matter. Hyperbolic chamber, you know what? Since you basically said that shit about my mom, I am blocking your ass. I don't want to see you again. I just don't want to see you again. Now, I don't usually block people, but when somebody's saying crap like that about my mom, honestly, when somebody's saying shit like that about my mom, fuck them, dude. Screw them. Fucking loser. Yeah, fucking loser. It was probably Sal. I wouldn't be surprised if it was our good friend Sal. Screw that guy. Probably is him, though. Wouldn't shock me. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later, though. Thank you again, Mom. I appreciate you. Love you. I'll see you tomorrow.